Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're new to my channel, my name is Melissa and I'm a nursing student. So I'm going to get right into the topic of today's video, and that is how I'm able to maintain a social life while working full-time and going to school full-time. If you've seen my previous videos, then you know that I attend Chamberlain University, their evening and weekend nursing program. Not every campus has the evening and weekend option for school, but thankfully mine does. So I'm attending a full-time nursing program. Actually, it's an accelerated program, and then I work full-time. So a regular Monday through Friday, 40 hours a week job. And on top of that, I am able to maintain a social life. So I didn't think that anyone would be interested in this type of video, but now I've gotten a couple of questions just asking how I'm able to manage it all. So I figured I would just sit down and film a casual video talking about it. And I have previously filmed a video about how to work full-time while going to school full-time. So there may be some overlap between these two videos, but this is probably going to focus more on how I'm able to maintain a social life. So as I mentioned before, I work a full-time job. Thankfully, my job is currently remote. I may have to go back into the office eventually, but even when I do, it's only going to be once or twice a week. So at least for right now, my job is fully remote. I get to work from home. So that helps me a lot because I don't have a commute. And then I go to school in the evenings and on the weekends. And in addition to that, I am able to maintain my social life. So just for my mental health, I need to see my friends, I need to see my family. And balancing the three can be very difficult, but it's definitely possible. And the first thing, probably the main thing that I do, is I utilize my phone calendar. So I actually have my phone with me. I don't know if you can see with the glare, it's just, my background is me and my husband. We went to Philadelphia. But so I just have a regular iPhone. I use my calendar for literally everything. So for work, if I have any deadlines, I will put it in my calendar. For school, if I have any assignments due, I will put them in my calendar. And same thing with like my exams week. And then for my social life, I will put everything in my calendar super far in advance. So I will literally put things in my calendar like 6 months in advance. That way I put it in my calendar, I set reminders, and I don't have to think about it. And I know that sounds really simple, but a calendar is just the best way to make sure that I don't forget anything, I don't miss anything, or I'm not late on anything in any area of my life. I literally live by my calendar. Every day I'm checking my calendar to see what I have coming up that week in all three areas of my life. So the next thing that I do to make sure that I stay on top of all of my assignments is that I set a schedule for myself. So I know that I am a die-hard morning person. Even on the weekends, my body will just naturally wake me up between like 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. And once I'm up, I'm up. Like I have to make an active effort to go back to sleep. So typically what I will do is I will set a schedule for myself, and I utilize the weekends heavily for both my social life and for school. So since I'm a morning person, typically Saturday mornings, I will wake up around like 5:30 in the morning. I'll like brush my teeth, maybe make myself some coffee, some tea. By 6 a.m. I am in the office with the door closed at my desk, and I will study and do homework from like 6 a.m. to about 10, 11 a.m. And then for social events, like if I have a birthday party, if I'm hanging out with my friends or my family, typically I do that stuff in the afternoon and the evenings. So for example, if I have an event at like 3 p.m., if I wake up and I'm studying from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m., I have enough time to shower, get dressed, and be at my event by 3. And then I can hang out all evening knowing that I already spent like 5 to 6 hours studying and doing homework that day. And then again, the same thing on Sunday. If I wake up at like 6 a.m., I study from like 6 a.m. to noon. I have the whole afternoon to hang out with my friends, family, run errands, do all of that stuff, knowing that I've already spent a good 6 hours studying and doing work. And I'm not going to lie, people will say that in nursing school you have to study every single day, multiple hours a day, and that's honestly not true, at least not for me. It's not practical for me because I work full time. So when I get off of work, I get off of work anywhere from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. every day. Some days I have to haul ass and go to Virginia. I live in Maryland, so some days I have to haul ass, go to Virginia, and get to class. And not traffic. Sometimes I'll be in traffic getting to class. It takes me an hour and 30 minutes. I sit in a 3-hour class, and then I have to drive an hour back from school to home. So by the time that I get home, it's already like 9, 10 o'clock. Sometimes I have the energy and I will go to the study that I have in my house or the office I have in my house, and I will review what I learned in lecture and lab for like an hour or two before bed. But to be completely honest, most nights when I have class, I get home and I will shower, brush my teeth, and crawl into bed and just watch TV and spend time with my husband. And that's just being completely honest. There are some days during the week where I'm just exhausted. Even on days where I don't have class, sometimes I'm just tired from work and from life and from everything, and I just want to get off of work and put on a movie or watch TV, and that's just what I do. So I really make use of the weekends, because even though I try to study in the evenings after work, sometimes that doesn't happen. So a lot of the time I will spend 5-6 hours on Saturday and then another 5 to 6 hours on Sunday studying and doing homework. So it still averages to the same if I were to spend an hour or two studying every single day versus doing the bulk of my studying and my homework over the weekends. So you just have to find a balance on what works for you and what works with your schedule. Which brings me to my next point. When you're making a schedule for yourself to do your studying and to do your homework, it's important to know when you are most productive. Okay, so when it comes to social events, I am very strategic about how, when I attend social events. So number one, there are a lot of social events that I just miss. And that's just the truth. There's no way around it. You're in nursing school, especially if you're working full time, there's gonna be a lot of stuff that you're just not able to attend. And that is definitely the case for me. So what I try to do is I try to make sure that I attend things that are important, or things that I deem as important. So weddings, funerals, birthday parties, obviously holidays, those I all will put in my calendar super early in advance, and I will do the best that I can to attend them. And the people in my life know that even for those events, sometimes I will be arriving late. And even though I'm arriving late, I will also be leaving early. And that's just the truth. And then when I do go to those events, 9 times out of 10, I'm not drinking. Or if I do drink, I'll sip on one drink throughout the night, because I know that I have to come home at a reasonable hour, get in bed at a reasonable hour, because I need to be up at like 5, 6 in the morning the next day to be studying. And that's just the truth. It's all about discipline. So you can definitely go to these events, but when you're there, you have to be mindful of the fact that you will probably have to go home and study, or you will need to prep ahead of time, which is another thing that I do. If I know that I have an event coming up on like a Saturday night, I will work in the evenings, make sure that I'm doing homework every evening so that I'm ahead of my work, so that when I go to these events, I don't have to come home super early because I don't have a lot of work to do, but I still have to come home at a reasonable hour because I know that the next morning, on Sunday morning, I have to be up studying. And those are for the important events. But if we're just going out with the girls for happy hour on a random Thursday or Friday night, a lot of those things, unfortunately, I do end up skipping unless I'm super ahead of my work, or just depending on the course that I'm taking at the time and how the workload is. Now, with that being said, another thing that is really important to do if you're going to be juggling everything, and this may not be popular, but that is to cut out people in your life that don't serve you or that don't understand that this is just going to be a busy season of your life. You have to understand that there may be some people in your life that you're either going to cut out of your life, or you're going to need to kind of pause your relationship with them until you are done with nursing school and you get your degree. So when I tell my friends and family, hey, I can't go to happy hour, hey, I can't go to this party, I can't go to this club, or I can't do whatever because I have to study, or I have exams coming up, or I'm just tired from working and going to school, all of my friends, all of my family, they totally understand. Everyone is really supportive. because they know that what I'm doing is important for me and important for my family and important for my growth. If I had people in my life, or if you have people in your life where they're like, oh, why don't you ever come out to the club anymore? Why don't you ever travel anymore? Oh, why are you coming late to my party? Why are you leaving early? Or if you like make the effort and you show up to their events, they're like, oh, why aren't you drinking? Why aren't you any fun anymore? All you do is study. Cut those people out of your life, because you don't need that stress. You don't need the stress, you don't need the headache. And to me, that's a sign that those people are just not rooting for you. Either they're jealous that you're trying to kind of get on a different level and you're focusing on your education and doing something that's really meaningful to you. So either they're jealous, or if they're not jealous, they just don't understand. And unfortunately, if you are working full-time, if you're going to nursing school, you are too busy to be putting up with any of that. And another thing is just to remind yourself that this is all temporary. So hopefully this video wasn't too long. Hopefully it was not all over the place. If you made it to the end, thank you. If you like this video or like content like this, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one.